with his benching in the Super Bowl, it is likely that Malcolm Butler will not return to New England in the 2018 season. And I know there's multiple teams that are linked to Malcolm Butler. Obviously, the first team that probably comes into your mind is the Houston Texans. Yes, I know DeAndre Hopkins has been trying to recruit Malcolm Butler, and yes, the Texans would be the smoothest transition simply because Bill O'Brien, Bill Belichick run the similar defensive scheme. But I think there's another team in mind that wants Malcolm Butler more, and I think he will likely go to them, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are known for being passive in free agency, but that does not mean they will never go after free agents. Obviously, they tried to go after Dante Hightower last year and actually gave him the best contract on the market. And not only that, they also went after Ladarius Green and got him. They even were linked to Darrelle Revis last time he was a free agent, or right before he signed with the New York Jets. Now, when it comes to this and all, the reason why Malcolm Butler would fit with Pittsburgh is simply because, well, he can make turnovers when they counter, and he can tackle. And that's what they really need at the cornerback slot. Sure, it's a different system and all that, but both Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin both run a lot of zone here and there. And sure, they might run a little bit more blitzes here and there, but also I think Malcolm Butler could probably handle that. And also a good reason why Malcolm Butler might join the Pittsburgh Steelers is simply because Antonio Brown, during the 2015 season, said that he knew Malcolm Butler was going to be a star when he absolutely torched Malcolm Butler. He thought he was going to be a star. And the Steelers are known for being an outspoken locker room and all of that. So it would be really easy for them to trash him, which they usually do after they beat an opponent. However, in this case, Antonio Brown decided not to do that and decided to compliment him. And Malcolm Butler and Antonio Brown have actually done commercials together, so there is a connection there and there is a friendship right there. So it's more than possible for Malcolm Butler to be wearing black and yellow in 2018. And when it comes to the Patriots free agents and all that, a lot of people were saying that, well, once a Patriot player leaves the Patriots, they are never the same. I would like to disagree on that. One thing for sure is, sure, Adam Schefter does make a good point that the Patriots usually survive without a certain player here and there. Like when they lost Tom Brady for the entire 2008 season, they still went 11-5. And obviously when they lost Wes Welker, they had Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola to step up. I get that they do survive. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right move all the time. And obviously it doesn't mean that they missed them at some point. Sure, they might make the playoffs consistently, and sure, they might have that 12-plus win record. However, their expectations for the past 15 years has been Super Bowl or bust. And when it comes to the free agency and all that, sometimes when they lose a player, they really miss them. For instance, Ty Law, once they got rid of Ty Law, he got 10 interceptions for the New York Jets. And most teams, or at least the league leader in interceptions, usually have around 7. Ty Law had 10 in that season. And also William McGinnis, sure, he was up there in age. However, when he went to the Cleveland Browns, he actually almost got them to the playoffs and delivered a 10-win season under Cleveland. So they definitely did miss him here. And when it comes to guys that maybe that weren't as successful, like similar to a Deion Branch. Deion Branch obviously was a system-based player with the New England Patriots. However, that does not mean they didn't miss him. Obviously, sure, he wasn't successful in Seattle, but Tom Brady could have used him in the 2006 AFC Conference game, where he had Rasheed Caldwell, Jabbar Gaffney to throw to. And most of you guys watching that video don't even know who the hell those people are. So when it comes to this all, it usually does it can backfire at times. And I would even go as far as Randy Moss. Sure, Randy Moss in 2010 wasn't that great, and when they traded him away, sure, he got traded to the Vikings, caught for 1 touchdown, and then was released and then was signed with the Titans. Sure, I get that. However, in 2011, Gronk got injured in the AFC Conference game, and sure, they started him with him injured, but he wasn't really that effective with his injury. If they had Randy Moss here to stretch the field, the outcome could have been different, but obviously he wasn't on the team by then, and the Patriots got rid of him the season before. So when you put this in perspective, players can still be successful without that. And I think this is a very similar situation. I think Malcolm Butler's situation is very similar to Wes Welker 5 or so years ago. When it came to Wes Welker, a lot of people thought that he was going to stay with New England, but there's a lot of bad blood between Wes Welker and Bill Belichick, and so it led Wes Welker to go to the Denver Broncos. And when it comes to this all, sure, Bill Belichick usually isn't known for paying players and whatnot. And when it came to this, sure, Denver Broncos definitely got the outbid, even though Robert Kraft would definitely disagree with that, based on signing bonuses guaranteed, but apparently the Denver Broncos maybe had the better contract here. And not only that about Wes Welker, when he came to his bad blood, and I wasn't really happy with the football life, how they didn't really tag along about Bill Belichick and Wes Welker's bad blood. Sure, they mentioned a few things here, but I will go on into quote Wes Welker right here. He goes, "It's nice to stick into Bill's face sometimes." And that's him saying it to a reporter. And that's kind of speaking a little bit too much, because obviously Bill Belichick does not like his players speaking out very much. And that was his last season in New England. And eventually in the 2014 game when they faced them, Wes Welker had a big pep talk talking about Bill Belichick doesn't give a damn about you guys, talking to the Denver Broncos. So there's obviously bad blood right here. I think there's bad blood with Malcolm Butler. I definitely do. I think Malcolm Butler probably got into a fight with Bill Belichick, obviously a verbal one, maybe not a physical, definitely a verbal one. And when it came to this all, it led to his benching. And not only that, when it came to his benching, I definitely think that with Malcolm Butler competing for a contract, obviously he didn't get his contract last year during the offseason. There's rumors that he could have been traded to maybe to the New Orleans Saints for a first-round pick. Not only that, Bill Belichick goes out there, uncharacteristically signs a big-time free agent from outside the organization. Bill Belichick usually pays players within the organization. He usually doesn't give big money to someone that's outside the organization. And that was Stephon Gilmore, the cornerback position. I don't think Malcolm Butler took that very well. And I just look at Malcolm Butler, I just don't see him in the black and gold. I just think he will work well for the Steelers. I really do. And why not go to Pittsburgh? Because Pittsburgh is really probably the main rival of the New England Patriots. Sure, the Patriots usually get the better of them, but hey, it's a nice revenge tactic here and there. And also to top it off, when you look at Wes Welker went to the Denver Broncos when the Denver Broncos had the Patriots' biggest rival, Peyton Manning. So that clearly makes sense. And also, before I leave off this video, I definitely think Malcolm Butler has potential to sign with the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers obviously had Ted Thompson depromoted, so they have a new GM there, and obviously I believe Don Capers was also resigned or something in those regards. He's no longer their DC. It's now Mike Pettine. And when it comes to this all, they really need the defensive help, and I think they would really like a playmaker in Malcolm Butler right here. And I think a lot of people have been talking about the Green Bay Packers being that they haven't won a Super Bowl since the 2010 season. And sure, a lot of people would say, well, my team hasn't won a Super Bowl in God knows how long. Yes, I get it. But when you have an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is basically as elite as you get, and you only have won one Super Bowl with him, seems like a little bit of disappointment. Don't believe me? Look at A.J. Hawk right there. He said it himself. And when it comes to this and all, I think Malcolm Butler would be one of these big free agent signings that they need. Similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers are known for being passive in free agency. And the last time they signed a big free agent, and yes, it was Martellus Bennett, not a super huge free agent, but they gave him pretty good money for a guy that only played half a season for them. And when it comes to this all, Malcolm Butler would make sense. Sure, he might not be as athletic as a Charles Woodson, but hey, he still has the play-making ability right there to help the Packers out. But I personally think the Steelers would be a good team for him. Obviously, he fits as well as he does with the Packers. And not only that, it's the perfect team to kind of get some payback against Bill Belichick. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.